guy I know really well from my time covering Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think when he left, it was, hurt a lot of fans, and the room didn't really feel like the same. And then so for him to come back, it seems like a really special thing for that group. Like, how did that kind of come together? It's very rare for a guy to get asked to waive his no trade clause and leave, and then want to come back, right? Like, how did that kind of all come together?
Yeah, when he left Tampa, that was like couple days before July 1st. He was flying home, and we had a call from Julien BriseBois. He broke the news, and he's a shrewd, great GM down in Tampa, and it was a tough move, and we didn't like it. Ryan didn't like it. I didn't like it, and that's the business of it. And he handled it very professionally because Ryan McDonagh is a 2-time Cup champion, the youngest captain in the history of the New York Rangers, and there's a reason. He took it like a pro, went to Nashville, brought his game there, his best captain attitude, and had a good run there. And then I think they were, had 2 years left on his contract. He's making a lot of money. And that's what happened on the business side of it, why Tampa moved him, because they needed the room. They made some signings, made a couple moves, and had to build for the future. And I think it was a good run in Tampa. And all of a sudden, there was some feelers. Teams were poking around on Ryan Mack. And, we kind of got word of it. And all of a sudden, I don't think Barry Trotz, the GM there, was jumping up and down to trade him. He certainly wasn't. But it was kind of a mutual set of conversations between all of us, and Ryan and Barry specifically too, saying, I understand the memories and the connection and your value down in Tampa. And Julien BriseBois, realized when he lost him, it was a major loss, and they brought him back now with Stamkos, going out the door, and they needed to bring some magic back there. And, they did with Ryan Mack, and then Nashville loaded up, and they got Stamkos, they got Brady Shea, and they got some other guys. So it's funny how crazy the world works with, a little give and take. And it was a really emotional return for Ryan Mack. He's one of the greatest of all time. And it was a lot of phone calls behind the scenes before that even happened with Barry Trotz in Nashville and Julien BriseBois too. And then we had Jake Guentzel signed there. I did his contract too. So that wasn't really intertwined, but it was kind of happening, all this summer. And that was a crazy run too. So Julien is a lawyer. He's French Canadian, and it took a long time before I really got to know him. He does a great job down in Tampa, and he's a wizard when it comes to pulling off deals. And he pulled a big one there with those two guys.
Was it something where, sorry, Scott, well, something where like Julien reached out to you guys and said, hey, we want to bring him back? Or Barry Trotz said that McDonagh requested a trade, want to go back to Tampa. Like, was the timing of those things? Was it he wanted to itch back with his family to go back there? Or was it, you heard that they were interested, and then that's kind of how it spurred?
Yeah, I think that there was some rumblings over the trade deadline back in March when I was starting to go wild with my wings and starting my mask. And then I think that's when we had some conversations with Barry, and then revisited it in the summer with, okay, now they made a playoff run. They used Ryan Mack, or had him for the playoff run. And then we kind of, went back and talked to Barry about it. And it ended up being like the right fit for both. If you talk to Barry, he'd say, no, we didn't want to lose Ryan. And Ryan would probably say, no, I didn't want to leave, Nashville either. But he I think with the special, cups they won in Tampa, and Tampa realizing how bad they need them. And then Nashville probably realizing what they could do with the money. It ended up working well for both sides. I think Barry, he probably won't admit it, wanted to do it. I don't know if he did. I'm not saying he did, but I think to do the deal, like he was helping Ryan, but also helping his team.